The hell are we doing?
Yeah, it just can't. All right, we're
We're
live.
wait, we're rolling with gas stations.
Yeah, yeah, we're rolling with gas stations.
And so you want to do is there any football stuff that we can do?
Well, we got
Preseason.
Zeke, Dalvin Cook.
That's right. Gosh.
There's some things in preseason we could discuss.
AJ Armstrong,
Richardson.
son of NFL.
Starting.
Oh yeah. Wait, what? Who is the Armstrong that we interviewed?
Anthony.
Anthony. Okay. There's this Antonio Armstrong Jr. was found guilty of capital murder in the case of his parents.
Oh God.
I was like, wait a minute. I feel like I would have
awful.
known if Anthony Armstrong.
All right, you ready? All right. Ready? Sorry. All right, let's get this show on the road. Oh, my profile is going to be on this pod the whole time since I'm going to be looking the other way. Sorry, I'm messing everything up.
You're good. Adam Thielen is in Carolina.
Yeah.
I know that. DJ Shark.
Yeah, they got DJ Shark too. I like him. All right, you ready? Well, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I am your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
What you guys doing?
Good to be back, Chris.
It is good to be back.
So it's been a couple weeks. It's been 2 weeks to be exact. We had some vacations. We had some scheduling issues. We're back, and we're ready. We're ready.
Day in there.
Yeah. So what'd you do, Chris? You went to Denver?
Yeah, I mean, well, I was only in Denver for one night. We were outside the city doing all like the Colorado mountain stuff. So it wasn't exploring the city. It was more of exploring. We went to the Rocky Mountain National Park. We did like some of the towns around there, a bunch of hikes. So a lot of nature stuff, which was pretty cool. I haven't been anywhere close to that far west before. It's a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I posted a little bit on our story, so hopefully you saw me out and about.
Yeah, no. If you saw the Wise Guy out live in Denver, definitely should have said hello. But that seems cool. So you got to see like the nature aspect and like the more of the Mother Nature side of Denver, which seems like the cooler part, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we went to the Rockies game, so that was the part where we were in the city. But
how was the park?
It was very nice. I was definitely impressed. It was a fun atmosphere there too for how bad they are. They're like the worst team in the National League, but it was exciting. Definitely one of the nicer parks I've seen. Not that I've seen that many parks.
Sweet. Well, it sounds like it was a great trip. Was this your second time on a plane, Chris?
Yeah, it was. Within the same year.
That's so better than the first time. Worse.
Yeah, definitely better.
All right.
Although I will say, like I handled the plane fine, but it was people around me. Like our flight out there was a 10 o'clock flight, and there was a crying kid, which was horrible. So we got delayed by like an hour just sitting on the plane, and
Oh, just sitting in the
like
taxiway.
10 minutes into that delay, the kid starts crying. I was like, "Oh, we're not gonna do this, right? Like he's gonna shut up."
Nope.
Not. Oh, I watch White Chicks.
Oh, classic. That's a classic. That's an
On the
absolute classic.
in-flight entertainment.
10 out of 10 comedy movie. That's a great one. Great choice, especially a great airplane movie. You're starting to get
Oh yeah.
the which one's the right one's a pick.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be a good top five airplane movies.
Airplane movies. Yeah, that would be good.
The hotel shiz.
I think.
I mean, number one would have to be Airplane, right?
I would think so. Would it be movies about an airplane, or would it be movies to watch on an airplane? 'Cause you could do.
I guess it could be either.
Yeah,
we could do both of them.
Yeah, you
It's
never
on
know
a
which one you're
plane.
gonna pick. Yep. All right, that's that. We're throwing that one in there. We're keeping that one. All right. Well, in the past 2 weeks, we've had some things. There's a couple small things come by. We really like looking at it. It's not like we missed much.
Oh, it's that point of the year.
No, we really have not.
Like we're just kind of waiting for the NFL season to start and the college season to start. Baseball's like you're getting towards the end of the line, but it's not the playoffs yet, so
the
not a lot.
And Hard Knocks is so. I watched the first episode. You haven't even watched the first one. I had on the second one, but I didn't watch it. And it's just the first one was just all about Rodgers, and like I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So, who knows what we're gonna do with that? If maybe if we find it that it's interesting and it's worth talking about, we'll talk about it. But from what I saw in that first episode, we could have talked about it, but they basically just ran through all the storylines that we've already talked through with Aaron Rodgers a million times, and ran through it one more time. So
Is he like happy?
he looked very happy. They kept saying how happy he looked, and like how the worst was. There's a moment in the first episode where they talk about Nate Hackett, and they do this whole thing.
Nate Hackett, not Nathaniel.
Yeah, Nate. And Nate, like they do the whole thing with Sean Payton saying the quotes and like the interviews with Nate afterwards, and then they have like this 5-minute like monologue and like explanation, and it's all just how him and Aaron Rodgers are just best friends. Are just like everything is peaches and cream.
They're just two peas in a pod.
I think they say that. I think they say that they're two peas in a pod. They are like, they're basically lovers. That's what it seems like. And I'm just sitting there and I'm watching it.
Like McVay and Jared Goff.
Yeah, it worse.
That one
way
for
worse.
dogs.
Way worse. And like after that, I look at my dad who I'm watching with and I go, what are we supposed to gain from this? That they're best friends? We kind of knew that. That's why he's the offensive coordinator. It's so ridiculous. And I know it's about to show for people, not just NFL fans, but like at this point, only NFL fans are watching it. Just give us stuff that we already know. Don't give us.
Yeah, I feel like I never hear people that don't like football talk about Hard Knocks.
No,
like
you
the
don't
Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's not like some guy's wife, like one of your buddy's wife or like girlfriends are gonna come up and be like, "Yo, like catch that episode of Hard Knocks? That Rodgers guy's great." It's like, nah, it's always your other crazed NFL fans that are watching Hard Knocks.
Yes. Who are just desperate for football.
For any lick of football.
Yeah.
And honestly, I respect the scumness of it. Just like.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. It's on the same.
Can't wait for the Commanders game on Monday.
Commanders. This is the home game, right?
Out of the Beltway, yeah.
Oh yeah. Ravens practice. There's been a lot of chippiness I've seen on Twitter between the
There has
Ravens
been.
practice and Commanders joint practice. You wanna weigh in at all? I saw some Zay Flowers burning Forbes. I saw some the defensive line just killing the Ravens. I don't know. I saw some
Well, the Zay Flower stuff, I don't think that was real. That was somehow
it was
out there.
Photoshop.
I haven't been too in the weeds on Commander's Twitter the last few days. Yeah, I did see there was a little scruff. I'm all for it. Those guys are playing with fire, right? Like, who cares?
Some guys
joint practice, like, as well. You get to fight without being penalized in practice.
Yeah,
so.
hit them.
Get it out, yeah, that's right.
Get it out now. I'm all for it.
And the other thing about that is like, say, oh, Forbes is getting burned. I can just ignore that. But I will focus on the good stuff, which is that Sam Howell was like 7 for 10 with a touchdown. First game.
There's nothing better than the first preseason game stat lines. So all right, speaking of preseason games and our preseason teams, Malik Cunningham for the Patriots. Did you see any of those highlights when he got in the fourth quarter?
No.
So the first half, he's playing wide receiver for the New England Patriots. And for people at home who don't know, this is a undrafted rookie out of Louisville. He followed Lamar Jackson, or he's the starting quarterback after Lamar Jackson. I think he has more all-purpose yards than him, and had like basically a similar career, minus the Heisman and minus the wins. And the Patriots get him. They sign him to this like $2,500 deal, 2,000. You know what I'm talking about. A good base contract. They give him a signing bonus, so it's basically guaranteed that he's going to make the team. And then all of a sudden, fourth quarter comes around, and he's in at quarterback. Bailey Zappi was terrible. It was actually atrocious to watch. Trace McSorley was just as bad, maybe worse. But
Malik, on a dime.
Oh, he was not throwing it on any dime. But Malik Cunningham goes in there. He immediately electrifies the offense. They're doing this running quarterback play. He's looking just like junior Lamar Jackson out there. And this is the type of stuff I did not need to see before going into the like as excited like that. Those should all be positives, but like this is just opening my mind to my imagination opens up when I see stuff like that, and it's not good.
Especially you've had no quarterback that can run outside of that little year of Cam Newton. It's not like you've been bribed with good quarterback play. Like you had the best player of all time for 20 years, but you've never seen a quarterback that can move like that.
No, and it's the offense is never ever, even at the peak when I'm watching them win Super Bowls. It's not like I'm watching a fun offense ever. You know, besides Randy Moss,
17.
Tom Brady, yeah. And
Gronk
had a deep threat, and Gronk, yeah. But from like this new age of running quarterbacks and stuff, the New England Patriots have not gotten that type of player besides that 1 year of Cam, and
even that was like, eh.
Yeah, and you knew it was like the last level.
Wasn't like
the issue Cam. is he was good at running and terrible at passing. So it's like if we can get a guy who can do both eventually, that would be great. And who knows? Maybe this turns into nothing, and that's most likely what it's going to be. But a fun little wrinkle to think about if Mac Jones ever does get injured, or if the backup quarterback job is taken by him. It would just be fun to see him out there in some type of Taysom Hill-esque, Lamar Jackson rookie year-esque.
Oh, get out of here with that. You hate Taysom Hill.
Well, I just don't like Taysom Hill. I'll admit on that. It's not like Carr. I have proof for Carr. I have real proof for Carr. Taysom Hill, I just can't get over that guy. I just get him off my sleeve. Is he still
NFL alive? Scout already sold on Malik Cunningham over Bailey Zappi.
Uh-oh.
It's a headline. Messin.com. That's like, I mean, sold on him over the backup quarterback who was a 4th round pick.
Yeah, who's gonna be? Yeah, neither way, they're fighting for the backup job. I don't think Mac, like people saying like QB1. I mean, unless he he throws 7 touchdowns in this next preseason game, I don't think there should ever be a thought of it. But unless he just lights the world on fire, then let's just be conservative with this. Let's just enjoy what we have as Pats Nation. And speaking of Pats Nation, new fresh faces. Ezekiel Elliott, feed Zeke, is in New England. He's rocket number 15 for the New England Patriots. And this is my bottom line. Try not to be biased, trying to be as realistic as possible as a journalist, as a podcaster. Ezekiel Elliott is 3.5 yards. Am I losing you, by the way?
There's a little lag. I'm on my videos on red.
Oh,
now I'm back to green.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're great now. All right, you hear me? Ezekiel Elliott.
3.5 yards per carry, loud and clear.
Yeah, 3.5 yards per carry, and he's gonna pass block, and that's all I want him to do. He's gonna steal a bunch of touchdowns from Ramondre Stevenson. It's gonna piss off fantasy owners.
Draft him.
And that's all he's gonna be. He's gonna be there on third down if they need a pass blocker. He's gonna be there if they need 3.5 yards, and I'm fine with it. I think that's worth $3 million in this league. With incentives, he can make it up to 6. And why not? Makes the team better, right? Like, it doesn't hurt.
That's the thing. Why not?
At all. Yeah, it doesn't hurt the team whatsoever. You're not paying this guy a bunch of money for him to take over Ramondre's job and start any controversy. And Zeke's been nothing but a trooper. I mean, like, he's been nothing but a trooper this whole, like, I guess he's had some boobage that he showed in New Orleans. And that was, and then he had when he flashed that girl in New Orleans. Isn't that why he got suspended? Why did he get suspended?
Oh, his suspension was domestic. It was domestic violence. I don't think it was. Oh wait, or was it Flash?
Tell me it was. Was it for Flash?
Oh, Jameis flashed someone. I thought.
I'm gonna look up Zeke's.
Jameis with the Uber.
Jameis was with the Uber.
Oh, that was groping, not flashing.
All right. Okay. Raised by domestic violence.
But there was weird stuff with that.
Because he was all right. So he was never charged with the crime, but he was still suspended.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
I think like
So bottom line, not a.
We don't have to get into it.
Bottom line, not a. I
just like Kareem Hunt.
I was just gonna say I just need to make sure that I don't get any more slippery slopes with domestic abusing running backs. No more slippery slopes with that.
There was another one too. It was Kareem Hunt and
No.
Oh, Mixon.
Oh, I mean, come on, Joe Mixon's good. He's a good player. We are eventually gonna catch ourselves where we're gonna paint ourselves in a terrible picture by joking around.
Yes.
All right. Well. Anywho, what else we got? Dalvin Cook to the Jets.
This is chaos.
Yeah, this is chaos.
Dude, this episode is a mess.
It is a mess. We had 2 weeks to prep, and I don't think either of us.
Watch the documentary.
I did watch the doc.
I've got multiple lists ready to go. It's just we're not into that part of the show yet.
We're not into the organized part yet. We're just kind of scrambling until we find it.
We'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Well, something we can talk about. Dalvin Cook officially signed with the New York Jets. It felt like it was a contract waiting to be signed. It felt like it was out there for a couple weeks now.
It's like the Rodgers thing all over again, except all they had to do was sign him. So I don't know what took so long.
I don't get that either. He was
like
at the training camp, and like everyone's cheering their names.
Yeah, and then like a month later,
they sign him. So he signs with the Jets.
What? The Jets signed Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, how shocking. He signs for I think like an $8 million deal. 28 years old.
1 year.
Great running back his his whole career, and you know, I don't like this is another one where it's like they had Brees Hall, they had Michael Carter. It upgrades. I think it upgrades their position, and why not? Why not add another weapon for Rodgers to attack with?
Yeah, well, and injuries are so common.
So,
Like you might as well just have another good guy to step in.
Yeah, can never have too many running backs. That's what they say.
Yeah. Well, that's another one where it's like at this point in the offseason, like you're not trying to save money, so what does a 1-year deal hurt you? There's no reason not to do it.
Yeah, you're not saving that up for a free agent or anything, and all that money
because it just disappears.
It's just gonna get cleared anyways. That's actually a great point, and it's funny. It seems like this is the type of period where all the other free agents that are out there should be like they should be coming in. This is like week 2 of the preseason. They're figuring out their depth charts. Maybe they still don't want to go through this training camp bullshit. So maybe that's it. Some of these veterans, at least.
Just lazy. I could definitely see Clowney being that kind of guy.
Oh yeah. Well, and I was listening to a podcast with Ndamukong Suh, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting until the start of the season. I'm not." And it like, to be fair, when you're a vet like that, that's been in the league for so long, why not? You know, let them train on their own and take a break.
That's right.
Give them some time off. All right. Well, do we have anything else news wise? I mean, we could do hard if we're moving on from NFL before we go to Johnny. But do we have anything else news wise for the NFL? First week of preseason came and went.
No, not what I've seen.
It feels good to have just football on the screen. Even if you're not paying attention, it's just good to have football on the screen.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, just excited for the football season. It can't come any quicker. Like it really can't. I'm lingering
here. Got college football coming up too.
Week 0, I'm all in.
Is ranked ahead of Spencer
0.
Rattler.
Oh, is
the
he
QB
really?
rankings, national QB rankings. Yeah.
Ooh.
So,
by the end of the
suck on that.
I heard Rattler's got a fire under him. He's just ready to sling it out there. Week 0 is going to be exciting. Vanderbilt versus Hawaii, right?
Yeah. That's the game.
That's the game I'm most excited for. And I know...
I don't think we've even talked about the latest like realignment stuff.
No. We talked
There's
about...
been more.
Yeah, they fixed Hawaii week 0. Yeah.
I've heard Vanderbilt's supposed to be decent. That's what I've heard through the
grapevine.
Maybe Notre Dame?
I was just going to say
Dublin?
maybe Notre Dame and Dublin.
Yes.
Yeah.
UMass, New Mexico State. All right. Why am I actually excited for the Vanderbilt game?
I'm pumped. Vanderbilt Hawaii is going to be sick.
Oh, and look at Thursday, August 31st. Florida, Utah, Nebraska, Minnesota. Penn State, UCF. That games.
We're so back.
We are so back.
That's a week away. 23rd, Thursday. That's next Thursday.
24th. No, this is Thursday the 31st.
Oh,
that's 2 weeks away. But week 0 is a week from Saturday.
Oh, yeah. We're so back.
That's nuts. Actually, it's nuts.
All right. Looks like we have no more NFL stuff. James Harden, frauding, back in the news. I mean, him and God, what is this? 2018? We're talking about him and Rodgers again, and it's always the same stuff, man. Time is a flat circle on this podcast.
It really is.
Going around and around. But this time, he's in China. He's promoting his winery. Goes out into a camp full of a bunch of little kids. He goes, Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he is a part of ever again. He goes, let me repeat. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of ever again. Just laying it all on the ground. Like, laying it all out there. Just absolutely laying it all out there.
And then I saw a headline that was like, yeah, the Sixers are just not going to trade him. Right.
Yeah? Yeah, so
He's just gonna have to deal with it. So it's fat suit season. It's coming on.
there's also this weird rule in the NBA where if you don't play out your last contract for a basketball organization, then they can hold your contract and say you're not allowed to play, not just for any other NBA team, but for any other basketball organization in the world.
Ah, interesting.
So he has to come in and he has to quote unquote play. So Fat Suit Harden is coming. It might as well have arrived.
It's gonna be so fat.
Yeah, he's gonna be
I
like.
love the meme of it's like Wayne looking at the Batman suit. It's just Harden looking at the fat suit.
Yeah, it's like they always have it hanging on like
a laugh so hard.
A normal clothes hanger. It's just like a big fat suit hanging out. He has become like this is a new level of like how like what is the defense now? Who sits and like okay, actually that was a rhetorical question. I know the defense. The defense is here's James Harden took a pay cut last year because he was promised this long-term extension in Philly, and now he's upset that he's not getting that same thing that was promised to him. But sorry, pal, maybe don't go 3 for 18 in Game 7, and maybe they give you this contract that you wanted.
It's right. It's all conditional.
Yeah, like
you
they're
can't
gonna
just
pay you
expect
based
to
on
get
what
the
they
bag
want.
when you're that bad in the playoffs.
Yeah, and completely and utterly disappear in the playoffs. So, God, this guy is such a diva to the NBA as a whole. Where, like, if he pulls some of this crap and gets what he wants and is end up playing for the Clippers, there's no one that is gonna go to any length. Like, there's no line in the sand. There's nowhere that isn't gonna be crossed because James Harden is just gonna be literally pout and cry to get his way in this league.
Yeah, it's turned into like an embarrassment. We've been making fun of him for years now, but like, I mean, at some point, you'd think that it stops, but I guess people will change.
What I don't understand is, at some point, you got to look in the mirror and just be a man. Just look at it and go, "This is the contract that they're offering me. This is what I have to take, and I have to prove to the the right mindset is I have to prove."
He's not MVP anymore.
No, I know, and the right mindset is I need to prove to these motherfuckers that I deserve this extension to my highest degree, and instead, he's going to blow it off, try to quit on the team, and force the team to trade him for diminished assets because he's playing like a bum. And that doesn't it makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. Absolutely sick to my stomach.
I was someone who liked the Harden trade, like when the Sixers went and got him. I was willing to say, all right, this could definitely blow up, but also they're more likely to win the finals than they were before they traded for him. Oh, yeah. I still do the trade. Looking back on it, I guess looking back on it, I wouldn't do the trade, but at that moment,
you do it for
me.
Ben
It made
Simmons.
sense. I guess it was Simmons,
just to get rid of Simmons. You do it.
That's true, but they also got rid of Curry, right?
Yeah, Seth and Drummond.
Curry and horrible trade.
I know.
But like that was kind of like the last straw, you know? It's like, all right, if it doesn't work out here, I'm done with the whole Harden thing. I don't know how any other NBA team could think differently than that.
And what, like, do the Clippers, are they just thinking, like, if the Clippers do trade for him, and that's his preferred destination, do they just think, oh, I mean, he wants to be here, he'll be happy, and he'll be playing, we have to have I mean, I think we've already made this joke before, and I think we've already done this whole kit and caboodle with the 2016 All Stars, and that's what they're rocking with. That's the team. And you look at all those guys, and they all have issues either staying healthy or they can't come clutch in the playoffs. Those are the issues with all four of those guys if they do get Harden. And
4 of them.
yeah, Paul George can't stay healthy.
Why?
Kawhi can't stay healthy. And the other two can't keep it up in the playoffs.
Russ is to the point where it's like, it's not even the playoffs, it's just in general.
Yeah, let's keep him on the court. And he did play well for the Clippers. Played much better than
he's
he did.
just not the Russ.
Yeah, Russell.
Before.
I don't know. I don't know how anyone defends this. I don't know how any GM puts his imprint on the team and goes, hey, we're trading for James Harden. Like, how do you look at the guys in the locker room around it? And I'm sure some of them are excited. But, like, I feel like I'd be pissed. Maybe that's just me. It's just me personally. But, like, if my team comes in and is like, oh, we're
well, I feel like the NBA is also, like, so buddy-buddy now.
Yeah. Yeah, that there's probably Harden's boys out here all over the place. Did you see that? Did you see the quote about China that he said? Oh, he said, let me see if I can find the exact quote. Because it was a pretty funny quote. Oh, yeah, okay. He said, he expressed to fans that he had a desire to play there. And the quote was, I wanted to come here and play one year, just because every time I come here, the love is just, like, crazy. So, alright. I am pitching something for Netflix right now. James Harden in China, Chinese strip clubs, 1 year of basketball. We make it a whole James Harden finding love in a foreign land. And I'm all for it. The love is always crazy here. Netflix. Coming next August. Get me behind the executive producer spot. I'm in.
Stick him on Shanghai for a year and follow him around with the camera crew.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like The Last Dance, only it's like the last dance club. The last strip club or whatever. And it's just Harden's goal to find every single Chinese strip club.
Love it.
He's such a bum. I can't believe this.
He's a bum.
Literally, it just makes me angry.
And what do you do if you're a Sixer fan?
No,
you just give up, right?
You hold out hope that they can get Paul George.
Yes, yeah.
You sit there and you go, the Clippers aren't going to do anything until they let's not let them do anything until Paul George. Hold the line. That's what you are. You're holding the line.
That's right. Yeah, you got to hold the line.
And that's it. Or, okay, you can hold the line for, I guess, their only hopes, really. Because what puts them on a projection to be just as good as they were with the Harden that we all thought they were going to get? And if you look at that, it's Paul George, and if they can somehow finagle a way to get Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
And
I haven't heard that name in a while.
I know.
What's going on there?
It's been silent. Maybe it's because he wants to go to one team and one team only, and the Trailblazers don't want to trade him. Which, by the way, now that this Harden thing is out, Dame, why don't you add the Sixers to your list, you freaking dumbass? Go play with Embiid and try to win a championship there. But, anywho, that's what you hold the line for. There's the only two players that you hold the line for, and you just wait until... I guess you wait until Harden refuses to play. Or you just ride it out until a trade comes. Which may never come, which is a sad reality.
I think, it's not like he has leverage here.
Neither do the Sixers.
Literally can't walk away.
I don't think the Sixers have much leverage either.
No, it's gonna be like the Ben Simmons thing again.
Yeah, their leverage is please.
Just gonna be chilling, faking injuries.
Yep.
Getting fat.
Yep.
It's gonna be quite the story at the end of this season.
How is it
a sport that usually starts out pretty slow? This is gonna be something to keep an eye on.
What else is cool? They did the NBA schedule release today, and normally it's such a big schedule release. It's not like the NFL one where we could break down the best games. And I guess
That was a great episode.
We could do it. It would just take.
Yeah, let's not.
It would take a lot longer. But the first game of the season for the Chris Paul led Warriors are facing the Phoenix Suns, which I thought was cool. Little rivalry. We love a good rivalry week, and that being the first game is pretty cool.
It's not on a weekend. If it is, I will be watching football.
Oh yeah. They better hope it's not on the weekend. The best basketball is like Tuesday, Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
You own those nights.
Into Thursday. Although even Thursday.
Thursday night football now. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All right.
And Wednesday and Tuesday you got the Mac.
Oh, we can't mess up the Mac. The Mac. All right, just cancel the NBA.
I love before.
December.
Just like a random thought is, have you seen the memes about like the Mac sitting back during all the conference realignment? They like a bunch of guys in a room and like they walk out to like grab a cup of coffee and they come back and it's just like chaos, like everyone's killing each other.
And they're just standing there with the cup
the
of
Mac.
coffee.
Mac. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's funny. All right, we ready to talk Johnny?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's.
I've done a lot of reviews this summer.
No, we really haven't. And I'm glad you said you got some notes in. I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of watched it. Just ready to talk.
Okay, I got a whole page, but it's not like. It was just stream of consciousness stuff.
Yeah. Do you wanna lead us on this guide through Johnny Football's life?
I can try. So
Right.
at the start, we just kind of get like a very quick picture of what we're gonna see throughout this whole documentary. It's like his
Quick documentary.
very quick in high school.
It's like an hour long. Quick documentary.
Yeah. Well, I'll get that thought out of the way right now. Could have been 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh yeah. No, it seems like they rushed. Seems like they rushed.
He did. Well, I was like checking the time in the NFL draft scene, and there was like 20 minutes left. And I was like, we're gonna breeze through this in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
So that was insane. Because like the growing up stuff and the A&M stuff, I thought that they did well. That seemed like they had enough time to do that. That could have been a whole and then he could have gotten drafted. That could have been the first episode. Then they could have done a whole other episode about NFL, post-NFL.
They could have done 2 episodes, like 2 more extra. Like they could have done Texas A&M becoming Johnny Football, getting drafted. Episode 2, then episode 3 is like at the end of episode 2 he gets kicked out of the NFL. And episode 3 is all the shit that happens after the NFL. Because
which just gets brushed over, basically.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, he went crazier than he's ever been. And all right, I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah.
The first thought that I had, I saw him in a Browns uniform, and all I could think about was the Monday night preseason game when he flipped off the Redskins bench, which was a game that I was at. I just really wanted to see that. And then they're like showing his dad. They're doing like when he was a kid stuff. They introduced his pops. Like, yeah, like I was very similar to Johnny. And there's like this one home video and the dad flips off the camera. And I was like, oh, that's great. Like that's foreshadowing.
Yeah, just like him.
It never showed up.
Never showed.
The game
face.
was never in the documentary.
No, you never even see the middle finger.
Yeah, so that was a bummer. But then you get into his high school. His high school is literally like a military school, doing 2-a-days during the school year.
Yeah, that was nuts.
They go to practice at 7. That's he said first period was football. Then
second
you have
period
like lifts.
Football.
And then after the school day, you have football again. And I think for us, it's hard to imagine high school football being as big of a deal as it is in Texas. Because for us, it's like, we go to the games, it's fun. You don't really care that much. Like, cool to see people play, and fun to be in the student section. But it's not like,
No,
I guess like some people in the town care, mainly just the parents. Texas is like, oh, it's a big deal.
it's basically I think in the doc they do a good job of showing a little bit of the importance of it, and they could have gone, of course, into more, but they didn't have the time. And you get to see like as much, and if you've seen Friday Night Lights, they say it in the show too. If you've seen Friday Night Lights, it's like that.
That's what it was.
And you see like everyone cares, as you said, not just the parents, not just the players, not just the faculty in the school, not just the students. It's like these are college age kids coming back home from town, going to these games, and like kids who or guys who are like 35 years old going to these games as if they are an NFL or a college game.
Yeah. It's definitely a wild scene. And like when his mom's talking about his first start and there's people behind him like, oh, like who's this Manziel kid that's starting?
They said
like, there's
Manziel.
A buzz.
They said Manziel like 100 times. And I was like, is it not Manziel? It's like, is it not Johnny Manziel? Because all this Manziel crap, get it off my screen.
So yeah, he had 75 touchdowns in a season, which I almost don't even believe. That's ridiculous because you're only playing like 10 regular season games and then a couple playoff games. Like that's unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know how he wasn't recruited by Texas. That's
it was 45 touchdowns.
Texas fans. It said 75.
No, it was 75 total in the career.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't just one season. It was 2 years.
Got it. All right, that's a little more.
Yeah, 45 touchdowns in one season, 30 in the other.
He was also like the player of the year in Texas. And he goes to A&M, which I know like any Texas fan. They're probably not even watching the documentary.
Sorry, I need to redo the stats. He passed for 3,609 yards for 45 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I read this wrong. He also had 170 carries for 1,674 yards and 30 touchdowns. So that is 75 touchdowns
year.
In his senior season of high school.
Holy shit.
So yeah, you didn't mishear it. I guess
he was scoring 7 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know how unbelievable
that is. Insanity. And what's funny is when you look at it, like I mean, that's a lot of rushing yards. But it's not like if you thought an NFL running back had 30 touchdowns, you'd be like, he had 3,000 rushing yards. And it's like, nah, he just had all these touchdowns. He had 1 touchdown reception and returned 1 for a touchdown. Run 1 kickoff return for a touchdown.
Ran kickoff back?
He combined for 77 touchdowns.
That's insane.
That's if they're lucky and they have 10 games in a playoff game. That's 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, right.
That's absolutely insane.
That's even more shocking than like the Derrick Henry high school numbers, which are already unbelievable.
I think what's more shocking about it is that he's like such a little pipsqueak.
Like, yeah, I was thinking that too. He's not like a freak athlete. Yeah,
Derrick Henry was 6'7" in high school, so it makes sense that he had 20,000 carry or 20,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, like if Lamar Jackson did it, it'd be like, okay, that's crazy, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
But so he gets to Texas A&M. Didn't know Cliff Kingsbury was the offensive coordinator there.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Did not know
nice
that. Nice
little surprise for you.
Surprised me, yeah. And I was like, there he is.
At moments, Cliff was like just preached to me like a young Vin Diesel. Like just sitting there, like I don't know what it was. and it wasn't like any baldness or anything because he has all of his hair, but he just I was sitting there and I was like,
Cliff was just the guy who was just like, we just let him go.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
Cliff was also the guy who's like, yeah, I mean, we saw some issues with his drinking and off the field performance, but he was playing good football, so we just kind of let him ride.
So he gets arrested before he even plays a game.
Yes,
Which is crazy. And then it cuts to Cliff, and Cliff is like,
that's how we knew he was the guy.
And we talked about it, but I said, he's the guy, right? They were like, okay, who cares? And then it was also funny because and someone was like, and we know, like, that's very out of character for Johnny. And then it cuts to Johnny, and he's like, yeah, no, it wasn't out of character at all.
That was the funniest part.
Right on brand.
And he was like, and when you look at the rest of the career and the story, it seems like that maybe it was a right story for John. Like, it was the right situation that Johnny's in. It's not abnormal. And I was like, it seems like it's not abnormal now, Johnny. Like, it's not the end of your career. It's now. Like, it's starting now. So, I didn't even think about this while watching, but now that we're talking about it, is Cliff public enemy number one? Is this all his fault?
I mean, he seems like an enabler.
Yeah, dude.
The coaching staff to the athletic department to the school, like, they're all enablers. They're just like, all right, hush up, let him do whatever he wants. Like, he's winning his games.
All of College Park.
Shut up. Everyone shut up about it.
Yeah, all of College Park, which is funny that it kept calling it College Park.
College Station.
Not
College Park.
Sorry, that's what it was. Okay, well, College Station. It was funny that literally all of them were like, yeah, let's just let him. Like, he doesn't.
And there was one scene where they're like, the guys like, and even like the old guys were like, we're in.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah. That was a great scene. So, when he's going, how did he only have to play 2 years of?
He must have redshirted.
Okay. Weird that that's not mentioned at all.
Yeah, I was wondering that too because I didn't realize he was drafted after 2 years.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of a third year that he played there, but I didn't know that he redshirted. That's the only explanation, right? Or medical redshirt, maybe.
Does that still count? So he still counts as a freshman?
Right, but it also counts as a year in school. Like, Cam Newton did that, right?
Yeah, and then he did.
Cam Newton was at Florida, and then.
Yeah, he did like a JUCO
transfer. I guess his situation was different because he went to JUCO, so he was there. Yeah. So he only played 2 years. And then Cliff is also like, oh yeah, he never looked at a play. Or no, Cliff didn't say that. His buddy Nate.
Yeah, his buddy.
Great character.
Yeah, he was a good.
Like, he never looked at the playbook. He just played football, which is insane to think about. Like, how much guys will study film, but
yeah,
I guess you can get away with that in college.
Yeah,
if you're athletic enough and if you're talented enough.
We need a goddamn Heisman.
I was thinking like one of the first scenes when he's at home, they win a game, and like they just keep showing the crowd, and I'm like, how could you not have a crazy ego,
right?
And feel like you're above everyone else when 100,000 people every Saturday are like screaming your name and doing your celebration and like basically worshiping you.
I think that's the best part about this documentary as a whole is you come away and you're like, there's a reason. There's a reason why he ended up being the way he was. Like, and I guess that's the point of the documentary, to show the reason why. But I think
that he's a person.
Mm-hmm. And all this shit, just he had terrible advisement. Also, his parents are the worst parents I've ever seen in my life. Later in the documentary, there's one scene, and the mom and dad, they're like, well, you know, when he's hanging with LeBron and hanging with Shaquille O'Neal or Drake, They're not gonna listen to
That's funny.
us. It's like that doesn't mean you don't stop trying.
Well, I
Yeah.
think they said that they were trying, but it didn't matter. I think that was the point. Although the thing that was weird is when his dad went to the press and was like, "Yeah, we're trying to get him into rehab, and he won't go." Why would you say that about your kid to the newspaper?
Yeah, they were not like, and it all ended up being a happy ending. Him and his dad driving a golf cart, playing some golf in the rain, but the lack of parental support, like this is, you talk about LeBron, he's hanging out with LeBron and Drake. That's why you talk to him about this stuff before he goes and hangs out with LeBron and Drake. You know, like when he gets a starting job at A&M, you sit him down and you try to have him discuss this shit. And the other thing that boggles my mind throughout this documentary is the NCAA's rule of not being able to get paid in college kind of led him into this path of, because if he was just able to get paid, I mean, he probably still would have been partying and everything, but he wouldn't be going to all those parties to sign autographs. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what you see what I'm trying to get here?
Yeah.
Insight on that.
Also, why is there so much money in autographs?
I don't know.
I don't understand what the big deal is there. Yeah, you're right. Also, like, they just kind of threw Alex Rodriguez's name in there. What was his role in this? That whole story made no sense. They walk in. And
Him and Nate are at this. They called it like an autograph signing party.
They had liquor there. I know that.
And they're going in there, and they're hanging out, and grabbing this autographs and whatever. And some guy comes up to him and goes, "Oh, this is the Chump Change Lounge. Come downstairs, and we can show you like the real money is." And he calls Alex Rodriguez, and Alex Rodriguez talks to Nate, and it's like, "Yeah, this guy's legit." So that was his role. He told Nate that this guy was
legit. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or if I just if I didn't get it.
Kind of slipped your mind.
Yeah. Okay. The way I understood it was like A-Rod was down there and he was the one buying the autographs, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't think A-Rod.
But I wouldn't be that surprised with A-Rod,
No, and with all the Johnny Manziel hype, this kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere.
I mean, he's freaking hanging out with LeBron.
Yeah, and Drake. It was a great point. Like he has a good quote, I think. That was, he's walking around campus in College Station, and all these guys and all these parents and kids and families are wearing A&M number 2 jerseys. It's
sold 45 million.
What?
They sold 45 million Johnny Manziel jerseys. Yeah. Well, not Johnny Manziel, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which is insane. I did have a note that said this is why we needed NIL. Because the no marketing deals makes no sense. I understand the don't want to pay them directly from the school, because for a couple reasons, it turns them into employees when they are students. Even then, you could say they're students. A lot of students are part-time employees. That's what they could be.
Yeah, even for the school.
Yeah, so that there was never any reason to say that they shouldn't be able to market themselves and make money. That never made any sense. He says it. He's like, I have a deep hatred for the NCAA.
Yeah, it was great. And the best was in that whole montage, the old president of the NCAA, he's sitting up there and he's like, no college athlete will be getting paid for as long as I am president of the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what a crock. What an absolute.
Yeah, it's how obvious is it that they don't want him to get paid so that they make more money?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
Like, it's
once
so
you pay one,
it's
you
so
pay all,
obvious.
and it makes it all. They lose a shit ton of money.
And A&M too, the school. Like the school made so much money off of him that they wouldn't have been able to make if he was able to get paid.
That was a huge. That was another huge aspect of the documentary that I liked, where it talked about how much A&M benefited off of Johnny Football and this one season, and it reminded me of why people love college football as much as they do, why college football is the best. Because you can have one of these dream seasons like Johnny Football, where this freshman kid just comes in and ends up beating Alabama. That one game,
They didn't even win a title.
no, yeah, sparked his whole career and has lasted A&M into being like an SEC, and I guess they haven't really contended for anything, so they're not really a powerhouse, but they're a top tier program that people respect, mainly because of like part of it in recent history is because of this 1 year where they won 8 games. They won 8 games.
The next year they won 8 games.
Oh,
I think
okay.
They won 10 his first year.
All right, that makes more sense.
It was what year was that? 2015, 2014. And it's funny because Alabama won the title that year.
Yeah,
Beat them, but that game. Actually, no, they did win. They won 7 games. Hang on. Oh, I think you're right. They won 8 games both years.
that's ridiculous.
Somewhere.
I'm surprised you won the Heisman as 8-win freshman.
Yeah. Maybe it was 2013.
He gets the Heisman.
The Bama game.
Okay.
Well, I just
go
note
Bama
about
game
that.
first. Yeah, go Bama game
The tweet he sent out before the game was maybe the most badass thing that I've ever seen. Except that he
can
watched.
you remind me?
He watched 300 the day of the game, and then before they walked into the stadium, he tweeted out, "Give them nothing give to them nothing, take from them everything."
Nice.
Like, how awesome is that?
And then goes in and beats him. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Also, the week before he played hungover.
Yes. I think they kind of just noted that he almost did that every Saturday. Because Cliff, of course, classic Cliff. If you guys ever need Cliff to help stage an intervention, he is right there to help out. And Cliff is out there, and he gives his classic Cliff advice. He goes, basically he was saying in practice, better be top tier shape for the game. And when he was out there warming up hungover, he was like, "You better play well." And then he played well. And
Johnny.
And Cliff was just like, "Well, looks like he can do whatever he wants then, coach." And basically kind of said, like, yeah, he kind of did that for the rest of the season. So it was just hungover every single Saturday. He is the embodiment of if some dude in your frat walked onto the football team and then beat Alabama later this season. That's like exactly.
That's what he said at the end. That was his. That's what he wanted to be.
Yeah, it was almost like watching.
And he just happened to be amazing at football.
It just like you're kind of in awe at him for in this, and that like. And I know he talks about how sick it is, like, but that year, those 2 years at A&M, must have been the greatest time, like, almost anyone has ever experienced. Like, that's like peak if you're the
king of the world.
Yeah, and just talking to town, owns campus, owns. I mean, at that moment. I mean, he didn't even own SEC football, but beat Bama, and he just is Heisman Trophy winner. And every single weekend is blacking out, like on multiple occasions in this. There was no story told by Johnny Football in this documentary that didn't start with. Well, I don't remember most of the names.
Yeah, it was a little fuzzy.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of it.
Kind of woke up.
But he said I woke up.
Needs beers
somewhere.
aren't bad.
He definitely needs beers aren't
That's what
bad.
he needed.
I think he said he randomly woke up in DC. He randomly woke up in all these hotel rooms. Like he was just all over the place.
In a jail cell.
Jail cell. All right. And then, I guess, any tidbits before he gets drafted? Any ones that we missed?
The Johnny Manziel "You Are an Angel" song. Is alarming.
That whole montage of all the adult
that just
fans.
reminds you how psycho the South is about college football.
Yeah, it really is.
These people are nuts.
It was all the SEC stuff, and it was all these adults with like families that are. It's gonna be us one day, and we're just gonna look back and we're gonna be
Not like that. Not quite
true.
like
That's
that.
True. That's true. Yeah, these guys are top tier, insane people.
Yeah. Heisman.
Smoking a doobie.
Okay, I actually have.
Out of the Heisman.
I have a lot of stuff.
Smoking a doobie out of the Heisman. That was pretty sick.
Heisman ceremony. There's 3 people that were in that ceremony. There's 2 Netflix documentaries.
Yes. And who's the third guy?
Klein.
Yeah.
Connor Klein. He was good. Well, obviously he was good, but he's from Kansas State. Alan Klein, I think his name was. He was like the favorite until later in the season when went until that Bama game, I guess.
Oh, yeah, he's done enough since college.
The couple tidbits, and they do the autograph stuff, and they start to get in trouble. And Nate, the genius behind the whole thing, comes up with the narrative that he came from oil money. That was so funny. When Skip Bayless, it's like, this kid, like, he came from oil money. And it's like, how stupid are you guys?
The best is Colin Cowherd sitting there, and he's like, a kid like this doesn't need money. Came from oil money.
He came from oil.
That was the best plot in the whole documentary. That was so genius, and the fact that it worked so well for so long
it really
too.
Is shocking.
Yeah, it really is shocking. The other major plot when he's getting ready for the combine, and he doesn't think he's gonna be able to pass his drug test, and his agent has this bright idea of his family is going to fake a hospitalization so he can go home for the hour, and it doesn't look suspicious that he's flying out of Indy.
It's genius. The agent was my favorite character.
Yeah, he was great. EB
was awesome.
EB was great.
But yeah, I had a bunch of notes about that. First of all, they just dropped Nate, which was sad. And then it's just there's no like closure there.
No,
and he's just like, yeah, and I don't think I've ever talked to him since then. It's like, oh, right. And then he just doesn't show up in the rest of the documentary.
And the saddest part about that is his final quote is, and for me it wasn't for the profits. Yeah, I just loved being friends with Johnny.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
That is, and Johnny didn't seem like too upset about it.
No, he was like, yeah, people come and they go. Nate helped me out quite a bit.
Yeah, he was like, I'm like the most loyal guy out there until like I can't be, and it's like that's not loyalty.
That was
like
the best
I don't think
quote.
you know what the word loyalty means.
I'm so loyal that like I can't have this many people around, so I just ride with one guy. But that guy changes all the time, depending on where I am.
And then Nate, like, there's one scene where they're out at a party and people there's like 4 pieces of paper that say NATE,
That was so funny.
I need to see just all the pictures. We could have done an extra 30 minutes of all the pictures of them in college at all these parties.
Yeah.
Him and Nate those are the best photos.
Man, what was the other? Oh, the agent when he's talking about drug tests, and it's like, and Johnny was just like, nah, like it'll be fine, like I'll just drink a lot of water, and he's like, I don't know what he did at Texas A&M, like apparently the fourth string quarterback was just pissing for him, and then it cuts to Johnny, and he's just got like the biggest smirk on his face.
Yeah, and he just like.
That was my favorite scene of the whole thing. That was so perfectly done by the producers. Because he was so proud of himself, even to this day. Like that was one thing where he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I did that.
The best is like I think that too. He was probably like that's like an FU to the NCAA as well.
Yes, definitely.
And it's just like such a big organization that you're debating, and now it's just coming out publicly that this whole time you've been fooling them. It's gotta feel sweet.
That and the grandpa, because he said that he was walking around like he couldn't go buy flights with all this cash.
Yeah,
he just
so the
hit up his
grandpa sent
grandpa,
him checks.
and then he goes, and of course, my grandpa's an F and G. And then it cuts to the grandpa, and he just laughs, and that's his only scene in the whole thing.
Yeah, that's pretty great too.
That was very funny.
All right, so now he's getting drafted, or he's about to get drafted, going through the combine, passed the drug test, said his interviews really propelled him. Everyone thought the Cowboys were gonna get him. Everyone thought they were the team. Jerry passes, which is still to this day one of the most surprising Jerry passings.
It took Zach Martin.
And yeah, Hall of Famer.
Still playing.
Yeah. Great choice there by them. But falls to Cleveland, pick 22. They trade back up to get him. And God, I think his NFL career was almost quicker than his college one. Like it was just, was there ever a bright spot? There wasn't a game. There wasn't a moment. There wasn't 1 minute with him in that uniform where it was like, oh, this guy's actually the guy. It just fell that quick.
It was terrible. Of course it's the Browns.
Yeah.
So.
It had to be the Browns. The
trade up too to go get him.
What this documentary could have used, and it could have used this when this was the second episode of the documentary. Lesson from this episode, this podcast today is hire us, Netflix. We'll figure it out.
Really, my job, I could be a consultant that's just like, how many episodes do you think this documentary should have? Be like, that should be 3. One, that can be 1.
So, in the second
Tiger
episode,
Woods one, too. Like, that could have been 5 episodes.
Oh, I don't think I ever watched the Tiger one.
It's excellent, but definitely rushed.
He gets drafted by Cleveland. There should have been a montage of the historic battle that Cleveland had at quarterback. Like, this was not...
Yeah.
The one thing that wasn't advertised well enough was how much this would have meant to Cleveland if it worked out.
They tried to do it a little bit, but they showed him partying about it, and then they said a couple times he could have been the savior of Cleveland, but there are 20 guys that could have been the savior of Cleveland. Baker was the savior of Cleveland. He was the best one.
He was. If you look at all of it, in the history of the Browns, I think it's Baker's their best quarterback by far.
By a good margin.
It's pretty horrendous.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is where the story kind of lost it for me. Where the documentary is at its weakest is after he gets drafted. They kind of just go, yeah, he kept partying. He watched zero film. That was a big highlight to make sure. That was funny.
I'd seen that on Twitter already, though.
Yeah, same. That's why I'm making fun of it.
When the GM says it, it's that's more funny than when he puts up the 0. Is when the GM is like, "Hey, EB, he's not watching film," and EB's like, "He's got to be watching some film," and the GM goes, "His iPad hours are 0.0."
So yeah, you get that. You get the sense that he's not practicing. He comes in and out. He has a little second stint with the Browns where he's like, they put him in like because like he has this moment where he's like, yeah, and I actually like started doing the right things. I started like focusing for a little bit, and then immediately went back to what he was doing. Slipped down the slope.
After rehab, right?
Yeah, it was after rehab. Where he
So
had,
they're like the
beats.
media, like the one clip is like, this absolute bust of a rookie is going to rehab. I'm like, you really had to kick him on the way out the door?
Oh, I'm sure Adam Scheffner was like, NFL bust. Johnny Manziel goes into rehab.
Yeah, the DC radio guys made a cameo too, and they said that he's a loser in life.
I saw that.
Sports junkies. 106, shout out 106.7 The Fan. I saw those guys and I was like, oh, I know them. Like, he's a loser. I was like, damn.
So that and then he goes back from rehab, and then he's off the wagon again. Completely loses it. We just kind of don't really hear much from him again.
I'm wondering if he didn't want that part expanded upon. It's kind of like the thing with the girlfriend. What happened? I vaguely remember it, but they kind of brushed over that.
Yeah, just breezed right past it. The fact that you just mentioned the girlfriend, I almost forgot what you were talking about because they breezed past it so much. Yeah, they never really mention it, or like not they mention it, but it's not in the grave detail. So that's yeah, I don't know. Maybe because he definitely had he was definitely involved. So maybe he put some kibosh on it or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean looking at like old articles now, it's rough.
Not
And
good.
the girlfriend stuff. It's not like he was mean to her. It's not like he had too much to drink and like yelled at her or something.
Not good stuff. Not a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Later, said he threatened to kill them both.
Oh wow. Well, towards the end of the documentary, you see that he has clearly had a lot of mental health problems. He mentions at some point that he was going. That also, as much as like it's not cool to expand on some things that maybe people don't want to expand on, but they kind of just breeze past. They're like,
Right, yeah.
They're kind of like, hey, Johnny Manziel was gonna like shoot himself after he did all this, and then they just kind of keep going. And I was like, maybe we could have settled the brakes a little bit and talked about that a little bit, but if if that's not something he was comfortable with talking about, then that's our answer.
Yeah, that's right. That's at the end of the day, I guess. Yeah.
But it just felt like that was an integral moment that we could have expanded on a little bit more. But I guess he did he talked about the weight where he just felt so hopeless. He didn't feel, felt no happiness after getting everything he wanted. And I felt bad for him. I really did feel bad for him. And even though it was all self-harm, it was all his fault. I still felt bad for the guy.
Yeah, it does, like, it humanizes him. It does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely humanizes him, and especially when you think about it, and this is such like an old, like it seems like it's from so long ago, and and he's only 30 years old. If he was good, he'd still be playing in the league right now.
Yeah.
And he could still very much well have been making a living off of playing football. And it's a damn shame that he ended up where he ended up. It seems like he's finally found himself. He's finally getting on the right track. So, hopefully positive.
Yeah, I'm curious about what he's doing.
Like what he's actually doing right now?
Not sober. It should drink.
Yeah, they showed him drinking. And it says
It's I guess not my lane to speculate. So
yeah, I mean, he played some college. He's played some, not college. He's played some Canadian League football. He's tried it out, and I also found that interesting.
it was terrible.
Yeah, he was bad, but he mentioned how he just didn't feel like playing football anymore, and I guess that's maybe why he didn't try the XFL or anything. But he still tried college, and he tried fan control football. So it's not like he didn't want a little career resurgence at least try it out.
Yeah, I mean that might have just been because he had no other option of making money.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. Overall, thought this was a good documentary. I thought it was really good. Interesting.
Very good.
You know, you get in depth of Johnny and you get to hear the whole story. I'm putting the blame on Cliff and his parents. They're definitely public enemies.
Definitely Cliff.
Yeah, this is all. He probably showed Kyler Call of Duty too. Probably like, Kyler, come look at this Call of Duty game real quick. Come check it out. So I'm just gonna blame Cliff for everything. All right, we need to wrap up the episode.
Yeah.
We got a top 5 to do, Chris. So.
Do.
And since we were traveling, I had to drive down South Carolina. If you notice the background, it's gonna change up a little bit. I need to get some new stuff, get the green screen back up. But I've been driving around. Chris has been flying. I guess planes don't really go to gas stations, but I had to make a couple stops on my trip. So we're doing our top 5 gas stations across America. Chris, I'm taking
I take the first pick here.
Yeah, I'm taking it. I am taking it because I'm taking. It has to be the only correct pick for number 1, and it's got to be Buc-ee's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's not.
Yep.
Oh, where I thought you were going.
Yeah, do you agree? You ever been to Buc-ee's?
No, I've never been.
Oh, well, look it up. So it's like a redneck Walmart, but it's connected to a gas station for truckers.
Well, it's pretty redneck.
Oh, it's more red. It's like it's somehow more redneck than Walmart.
Okay. Okay, I see it. Do we have this in Maryland?
Not one in Maryland. No, there's one in Florence, South Carolina, which is the one I normally hit. But there's more in the South. I think there is like I don't know how many there are. Buc-ee's locations. All right, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Bama. Yeah, all these southern states got one. Tennessee, Texas. Yeah, so it looks like they go anywhere from the furthest east they go is actually the one in South Carolina. Furthest north is in Kentucky. And west is San Antonio. So they're kind of just in this little southeast quadrant.
You thought that I would know what that was?
Yeah, I thought you would.
You never been to Buc-ee's?
I thought maybe you've heard of it. Sorry, thought you were a little.
Maybe I've heard of it. I have not been.
But I guess
will,
you can't really discuss it because you've never been. But trust me, it's good.
Seems like a cool place.
It's a cool place. Oh, sorry, I just kicked my desk.
All right. Well, I've my board's wide open now.
Yeah, there you go.
My first pick is Wawa.
Ah, classic.
I mean, you can't beat
I know.
the Wawa food,
Oh,
like
yeah.
everything. Hoagie Fest is like one of the best times of the year. $6 subs.
I gotta say, people who shit on Wawa just don't have one. They
I
simply
don't
just
get
have
it.
one.
Like,
They
how
just
could you
don't have one.
possibly?
The best is
Yeah,
like
I
I
don't
love it when
understand.
they're like, oh, you get food from a gas station. It's like, dude, what do you like? Who cares? It's good food. I'll get gas station.
It's not
Yeah.
like McDonald's either. Like,
No,
not
it's
that I
better
would
quality.
McDonald's either, but it's high quality food.
Yeah.
Better than
I
anything
agree.
you could make.
No, it's high quality. You can get whatever you want,
Turd.
and they have just about everything there.
They have everything.
Yeah. So everything you can decide.
Breakfast, like any breakfast food, basically.
Open 24/7.
Any lunch or
all
dinner
of them are
food.
pretty much open. But
It's a magical place.
it really is. And when you go in, you leave with what your stomach desired. If that's what you're looking for. Because if it's 2 a.m., you're looking for some candy, they got it all there. Or you want a hoagie at 2 a.m., they'll make one for you. Maybe a panini sandwich. Like they got everything. So I love Wawa. That would have been the number one pick if I've never met this sweet magical place called Buc-ee's. But for now, I'm moving on. My number 2, Wawa has to move down. This is going to be a tough pick. I think I got to go 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay.
Just, like, I was kind of, like, here, I'm looking for brand awareness, recognition, stable, you know what you're going to get there. Some of these other ones, you go in and you're a little concerned about, like, but if you see 7-Eleven, you're like, all right, I can get whatever I need there. I know what I can get.
Yeah. 7-Eleven, it's the Slurpees and the taquitos.
Yep, that's it.
Those are like the staples.
Yes. The taquito literally the only 2 things I'll probably get at 7-Eleven is the taquitos
Or drug sex.
and or drug. Yes. And just convenient, man. It's a nice little convenient store within.
7-Eleven's also got to be like the most robbed store in the country.
Oh, for sure.
Especially in like college. Like college kids probably rob 7-Eleven more than like homeless people.
Oh, by Cape St. Clair, the 7-Eleven, the only thing that's ever been robbed in my local neighborhood ever has been that 7-Eleven.
One of my roommates told me that the 7-Eleven in College Park was the most robbed store in the country. I don't know if I believe, but it wouldn't be that surprising.
It probably it's not that surprising, but he was definitely made that shit up and thought it was funny to tell you. All right, what do you got?
It's my number 2.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with this. You can tell me if this is cheating or not. I think technically it counts. Costco.
Costco?
Costco has gas.
Damn, what a pick. Yeah.
Has gas, right?
No, that's
cheating.
That is a gas station. Yeah, no, that's a gas station.
Wow.
Wow.
It's back and forth between that and Sam's
Wow,
Club. I just decided to go with Costco. But the deals at Costco for $60 a year, unbelievable. When we were out in Denver, we went, and there was like this huge thing of chicken drumsticks for $12. I couldn't even believe my eyes. And we got gas.
It is the best. Costco. Because you can, like, and especially when you're a college kid, it's perfect for that because you go at the beginning of the semester, buy at least a month's worth of food all in one trip.
Shove it in the freezer.
Shove it in the freezer, and you're good for the next month and a half. And yeah, I mean, just everything you can imagine that you get at Walmart and Target, you can get there only the same price, just 5 times bigger. And their food is great. You can get cheap pizza.
Oh, hot dog deal? It's
Oh.
like $1.50 for the hot dog and the drink.
Yeah, 50
It's a
cent
humongous
sodas.
hot dog.
You get the ice cream's like $1. Like that. The food there. Just what's it called? Inflation doesn't exist. It'll always
No,
be
it
a
doesn't.
dollar.
I saw an article one time that was like, not an article, it was just like a headline, and it's like the Costco CFO went to the owner and was like, "Look, we have to raise the price of the hot dog." And the owner was like, "No, figure it out. Like, we're not raising."
Yeah.
And they did. They figured it out. Oh.
That's what I love that pick. My number 3. I mean, like, it feels wrong to not now take. Right?
Cut out.
I said it seems wrong not to now take Sam's Club.
Okay, yeah.
I just think that's kind of what I gotta do.
Alright, yeah.
So Sam's Club.
You have it on the list, or?
No, it's a surprise
Okay.
pick. I mean, like, after hearing, I can't be up on that graphic come tomorrow morning and not and like have like, because someone's just gonna be like, well, what
I'll
about
have a
Sam's Club?
competitor.
Yeah, exactly. They're be like, oh, took Costco, you couldn't take Sam's Club. They're all gonna be joshing me for letting Costco slip to your second. So 3 is gotta go.
Playing defense at this point.
Yeah, this is defense. This is definitely defense, and I'm going Sam's Club. I do love Sam's Club though. Same exact thing as Costco. Do you know why there's 2 of them?
It's good. Is that the best?
Oh, you sounded you answered that like it was like I knew the answer. I don't know the answer. I was just asking. No, I don't think they're the best. I don't think it's because they're the best. I think it's maybe. It's like the Krusty Krab too. So good they just made it.
I mean, why is there McDonald's and Burger King?
It's a great point.
Enough demand for 2 of them.
Yeah, it's a great point.
We have a Sam's Club membership. We don't even have a Costco membership. But Costco's got bigger brand recognition, I guess. And I just went to Costco. It's fresh on my mind.
Yeah, I have a Sam's Club too. But like, I think my parent like they just call it like it's the same. Like they use it interchangeably. Sam's Club and Costco are used completely interchangeably. All right, next up, what do you got?
Struggling with this third one because I think you're gonna take one of them at some point, but I don't know which one is a bigger risk to leave on the board.
Oh, okay. Talk about defense.
Go with Sheets.
I've never been.
Wawa. Never been to Sheets, really?
Never been.
I've been a couple times in PA and either Virginia or North Carolina. It's very similar.
Very similar to Wawa.
Wawa. Some people say it's better.
That's what I've heard.
Haven't had Sheets enough to say it's better, which is why it's behind Wawa on here.
What do they have that could possibly compare to a hoagie?
I don't know. It seems like they just have everything also.
Okay. Well, like, do they have like Wawa's signature thing is their hoagie, and that is their best thing. Does Sheets have a thing?
I don't know. I've gotten like the sourdough sandwiches when I go there.
That sounds good. I got it.
Really good. Chicken tender subs. I think I've had one of those before.
Tender sub.
It's really good.
Sounds like I can get that at Wawa.
You can. That's what I'm saying. Like they're very similar. It depends on where you are in the country.
In the world. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I want to check out Sheets one day. I got to see what all the hoopla is about. Never been.
Surprised you haven't gone to one on your way down to school.
Yeah, I'm shocked I haven't ventured to one either. Maybe I'll try to make it a way. Whenever I'm driving down, it's just how quick is it? Like, what's the quickest gas station? I don't care which one it is.
That's fair.
Which kind of soils the list, but whatever. All right, next up, one that I like, I do hit a lot when I'm coming down because there's a lot of them, is a Speedway.
Speedway?
Speedway?
Okay, I have
Yeah.
seen those.
They, there's nothing special. but every time I go in there, they're generally pretty clean. They have a nice little gift store inside. They're normally connected to like some Arby's or some chicken place, and they're solid. I'm never like worried to stop in a Speedway. I always feel like I'm gonna be able to get a good quality bathroom and a good quality pump at a Speedway.
That's good. So you're more focused on the gas itself on this pick.
I think I'm more focused on the atmosphere of the Speedway. You know what I mean? Like, I think the atmosphere is it holds true to like it's not as friendly or inviting as a Wawa or 7-Eleven, but it's not like disinviting like a Shell gas station.
Hey, why are we throwing Shell in it? My Shell is very nice. Shell's on my list.
I just wanted to throw one out there and see what you.
We have a Shell card, so I get Shell all the time, and I like it.
All right, we'll pick it next then.
I'm not going to, because I have a way better one.
All right, go right ahead. Number 4.
Ofo Farms.
Oh,
Great chicken.
Royal Farms.
They also sell Krispy Kreme. I don't know if that's a normal thing or if that's just the Rofo by me. Yeah, solid establishment.
Do they still have the for reals? The for reals are great. Milkshakes.
I don't know. I've seen those at Wawa.
They had them at Wawa, but then once Wawa started selling milkshakes, I think they got rid of them.
Oh yeah, that's disappointing. I used to get those after playing golf with my granddad. It's like a very specific memory that I have.
Those are always great, though. I've really loved
So
those.
good.
All right, you completely.
For the sake of the list, I'll say yes.
You dunked on me with this pick compared to Speedway. This like takes a hot steaming dookie on Speedway. Royal Farms are. It's like I guess it's just too specific to Maryland for me that I just couldn't do it. I don't know what it was. I had them on.
You live in Maryland.
I know. Technically not right now, but I know.
Right, but.
Yeah, I should have picked Royal Farms. This is a master class towards the end. I gotta go. I'm going number 5. I'm going QT, Quick Trip. Another like it's a southern type. I think it's like a North Carolinas type of deal thing, and it was pretty big when I walked inside. I was pretty shocked by the size of the QT.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures. It looks humongous.
Yeah, some of them are pretty, like, I'm looking at pictures too. Some of these are really big. The one I went on my way back from Charlotte was not as big. But, great selection of stuff. All your normal gas station items. And, big inside, clean, you know. That's all I got. God, Royal Farms messed me up. What a pick.
Alright, last pick. I almost want to go to Shell just to spite you. But I'm gonna go with Rudders.
With what?
Red Rudders.
Rudders? No. RUTT? PR?
Yeah. I think that's a PA one too. It might only be in Pennsylvania, so this might be a poor pick.
Local pick.
But it's kind of like Sheetz and Wawa. It's like a budget version, I guess.
Yeah, I think I've seen this before.
I've only gone like coming back from Pennsylvania to like visit my family.
Okay, all right. It seems solid. Seems like a solid gas station. I can't.
Also, like a cool logo.
It does have a cool logo, a little retro. I always appreciate whenever the gas stations go a little retro. Wawa, great logo, great esteem. We never discussed that. Great esteem there. All right. Honorable mentions. You got any? Shell. That's it.
Turkey Hill
Turkey Hill, like the ice
gas
cream brand?
stations.
Is it the
I
same
think they
brand?
have gas stations. Yeah, they do. Another PA thing.
I had nothing. That's my honorable.
There's only so many gas stations. I mean, like, I guess I could pick, like, Exxon, but...
Oh, I should have
Is it
picked Exxon.
Tiger Mart.
Tiger Mart.
BP. BP
No,
had the oil spill.
dishonorable mention BP. I'll always remember them for the oil spill. I've never been to a BP, and I never will. All those poor ducks and seagulls, all because of fucking.
Yeah. For you, stand for something.
Yeah. I'm dying on that hill. All right, just like I've never eaten right Twix. I've only ever eaten the left ones. They just taste
Why?
better. They taste better.
What are you talking about?
That's not a lie, by the way. I have never eaten.
What do you mean it's not a lie? Oh, that you've never eaten one.
Yeah, no, I've never eaten it
It meant that they taste better. I was like, that is a lie. Like, okay.
It's actually an opinion. All right, I think this is officially a wrap. Coming back next week, it should be a lot
Can't
more.
believe I thought that you were gonna take all of my picks. I thought nothing was gonna be available. But Wawa was number one. I didn't think I'd get both Sheets and Royal Farms.
All right, you cleaned up. I get it. All right.
Well, I'm just saying that like you going down to South Carolina has changed our gas station lists. That's all.
It definitely has.
I'm sure like you'll have support from your goons down there, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's a regional battle, top 5.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
That is true. All right, that's actually an interesting little tidbit to add on. All right, hopefully we're a lot more organized next week. Thank you all for listening. Hope you all enjoyed. I hope you're all happy we're back. And we'll see everybody come next week. Chris, you got anything to say before we sign off?
Fantasy draft.
Coming up.
Next week.
Is that next week? 23rd, right? Yeah, all right.
Unless it's the 30th.
Unless it is.
I have my Wednesdays right.
I don't know. I thought it was the 23rd.
Saved. So I think it's next week.
We'll figure it out. We might be doing most likely at some point we'll be doing our fantasy draft live for everyone to witness and everyone to see. So thank you all for listening. Look forward to that. Look forward to new episodes coming out. See everybody then.